So one of the things that you want to have in golf is you want to have the ability to control your distances with your wedges. And so we have what we call the happy caddy game that we recommend, and it needs to be you and a partner. You need probably 60, 70, 80 yards of play where one of you can move. You've got one ball and you're hitting the ball back and forth to each other. Now where this drill and this training idea came from a discussion I was having with Craig Shankland, who was one of my mentors as a teacher. And we were having a discussion one day, and he says, well, you know, we were more accurate back in the 60s when I played on tour. And I said, come on. I said, every generation, you know, they walk 3 miles uphill and in the snow with no shoes on. I mean, it's the same over and over and over. He said, no, it's the truth. And I said, well, okay, why? Why would that be true? And he said, well, the reason it was true is because we didn't hit the flags. He said, we hit the living, breathing targets called caddies. And I said, okay, that's an interesting premise, keep going. He said, so, you know, there weren't all these driving ranges. Each tour event had a field that we went to. We drove there with our caddy. He said, so when I got on tour, he said, I go out there to practice. And he said, so here's Ben Hogan. You know, I mean, there's obviously an idol for most of us. And so his caddy's out there. Let's say, you know, Ben was hitting an 8-iron, so his caddy was out at an 8-iron distance. And so he was one step this way, one step this way, one step forward. He said, no, and then there's Arnold Palmer, and he's hitting balls to his caddy, and his caddy one step this way, one step this way, standing still. And he said, when I first got on tour, he said, here's Shankland's caddy. He's looking all over the place. He's having to run. He's all over the place. So quickly you figure out that you want your caddy not moving. It's a source of pride that your caddy's not moving all over the place. So that same mentality, if you want to work on distance control, hey, hit shots to a partner and scull it over their head and chunk one way short, and they become very unhappy. So you're trying to have a happy caddy, and in doing so, it leads to really precise distance control because you're very focused on every shot. So try the happy caddy game, and it'll make you better at distance control with your wedges.